All right. I need I need some royalty-free music here. Dude, the fucking Mao Zedong Red Sun in the Sky got copyright. Can you believe that? Can you fucking believe that? I play this fucking I can't play it, you know. The Chinese meme music and it got fucking copyright striked. What happened to communism, comrade? What happened to the proletariat owning the means of production? It's crazy. Yeah. So I can't even play that. So like I keep getting like fucking copyright issues that I have to like have to edit out. What's going on, Smelly? So I need some royalty free music. Yeah, El China indeed. Please don't be ass. Okay. Glass Beijing, true. True, very true. What's going on? What's going on? How's it going? How's it hanging? Been a minute. I've just been very uninspired. Very uninspired. Nothing really to talk about in the news. It's the same shit. Same fuck. When is this gonna end? Just like more nonsense. Same shit, different day. You could copy and paste the headline from like today's news in Iran, rewind the clock a month, and it'll be perfectly relevant. So, kind of crazy, but whatever. Enough kvetching. Doing it good, been going on runs, don't want to be the next CNN Groiper. Bro, yeah, true. I mean, that shit is, that's pretty tough, man, I'm not gonna lie. That was, bro. Like, what are we doing? Okay, this kind of, I'm not really feeling this. I need something a little more lo-fi. Can we try this one? I'm doing alright, I'm doing alright. Alright. You know, it's just like... Where do you even begin with those CNN chuds? Have some self-awareness. Like, seriously. And that just goes to show... Like, it's funny that the least offensive thing, believe it or not, is that those two guys are, like, disgusting to look at. What's more offensive is their stupidity and their arrogance, really, because it's like... Dude, the leader of the movement, and there's, like, people were compiling... them like one of them counter signaling Nick and not listening to his advice, you know. So it's like they're stupid and they don't get it, they don't understand, they're not listening to our glorious leader who's never wrong. They don't understand like what this is really about. They're literally grifting, and they were selling America First Nick merch of their own. So they're just grifters. They're just like disgusting grifters that don't really understand what this is all about. So they're stupid, they're arrogant, they're ignorant, and on top of that, they're fucking disgusting. So they're just like a total detriment to the movement. You put down the hat until you're under... Yeah. Yeah, good. You know, there's no... Look, there is no, like, sugarcoating it. I know some of the tubbies probably want it sugarcoated, but, like, literally, there is no... It's just... It's not... It's like tough love, you know? You just can't be fat. You just can't be... Like... I don't know. I get it now. I totally get why, like the stereotypical bully would just like beat the fuck out of like the fatties and like the like weak twinks, because it is just like the more I see like people that just don't take care of themselves, the more disgusted I am. You know, cue up that Richard Spencer that clip where he's like, you know, I just hate, what do you say? I just hate disgusting freaks. It should always be about Richard Spencer, you know? But it's so true. It's like nobody is gonna give you like ups. Nobody is gonna give you like your special star for losing weight. Nobody gives a shit, but they will hate you if you don't. It's that simple. There's no excuse to be fat. None. Absolutely none. And you know, a lot of people don't want to hear that because they're bitch made, but it's just true. And it's like ultimately it's your life. It's like, you know, I just don't understand how people can live like that. Just being big. It's like it's got to be uncomfortable. You know, you're not gonna get a lot of, like, people will just hate you because you're fat. Like literally, and that is 100% true. And so you're nerfing your life. You are literally making your life worse off by like not losing weight. And nobody's gonna do it for you. Nobody is going to motivate you. And so it is like a self-report on your own principles, on your own work ethic, on your own, really your own deficiencies. So, yeah. You just can't be fat. And if you are fat, you've got to recognize that and like not try to represent something. So, no tortas? Yeah, so true, Hippo. It's easy not to be fat, just don't eat. Yeah, literally, be lazy. Be too lazy to go up and to the fridge and get something. Like, you ever think about that? Just literally, the next time you're hungry, be like, but I don't want to get up and go get something to eat. It's like that simple. Constantly out of breath and sweating. You hated being over 300 pounds. Yeah, man. And use that hate. Remember that feeling. And that feeling should keep you going forward. But understand, nobody is going to give a shit about, like, your problems. If you are fat and unhealthy, nobody's going to fucking care, but they will hate you for it. So... because I see a lot of people, they try to like look for excuses or sympathy, and it's like none of that. Everyone's got problems, man. None of that. None of that is gonna fly. So when you see, and ultimately you see the kind of damage it can really do. You see these two chuds go out and they're too stupid to realize what CNN is doing, or they don't care because they're grifters, and they just hand the opposition this free hit piece, just like a fucking optics holocaust for America First. Crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. You were always the fat kid growing up. Yeah, never again. Never again, Smelly. Never again. Never again. Never allow yourself to be fat again. Just clean up the diet. Don't drink. Don't, you know, eat sugar. And if you're hungry and if you have cravings, good. That means it's working. You should be hungry all the time. You'll live. That's the thing. Like, when you are hungry, that means it's working. Think of it that way. Dude, it's so fucking hot in here. But, like, on a real note, I do wonder, like, okay, I can sit here and I can criticize these guys. You know, they didn't listen to Nick's advice. I guess on some level, I'm not really listening to Nick's advice, you know? And although I'm not, like, completely doxing myself, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze? Me going live every day, base cam and voice and all, is it worth it? You know? I don't know, man. Fasting is amazing. Yeah, it's good for you. It's good for you to fast every once in a while. But, you know, because, yeah, like, really, do we need more, I don't know, W show title? It's true, though. It's 100% true. Um, yeah, I mean, like, do we need more like content creators, streamers, whatever? I don't know if we do. So, I don't know. It's so hot in here. I want to like turn these. I have all these lights on because you gotta have the lights on. You have to have good lighting for the green screen to work and all that. And yeah, I don't want to be like a, you know, I gotta set up the OBS and all that. But it's just making it so hot. Anyway. But you just see these like, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I guess your memes have 100% success rate right now at getting me to go live. Where is... Let me just go through Nick's posts. Where was it? When did this happen? This happened... Don't question yourself and your place in this movie. If you convert one bob, it was worth it. I don't know. I mean, it's such a risk, and I don't know if it's worth it. You know, I mean, it's like one thing when obviously I don't have much of an audience. It's, I don't know. The bobs have been missing. True. Where is... Did he respond to... Yeah, I mean, dude. Matt Walsh beef? Dude, I fucking hate Matt Walsh. He's such a fucking idiot. He's such a fucking traitor. I guess I can cover this really quick. It's the same, like... Dude, we kind of already have, it's like a repeat of the same beef we've already seen before. And keep in mind, Nick can only respond, and he says here, I only have 280 characters to respond because he's still not allowed a check mark. But I'll just run through it real quick. And I'll just explain, for those in the back that need to hear it again, why Matt Walsh is a fucking idiot, traitor. And like his whole, like he drew a line in the sand and said, really made it about culture, and it's like, well, I'll just read it first and then we'll respond to it. So Matt Walsh goes, if we're going to have a conservative civil war, what even is conservatism? Let's stop right there. What even is conservatism? What are we conserving exactly? That's like a big part of the problem. You have Lady Maga and fucking trannies in the movement and Dave Rubin, they're all conservative. So what exactly are we like, I don't want anything to do with that. A lot of us don't want anything to do with that. But it seems like they're willing to die on that hill. They're saying, hey, let's not infight here. So, sorry, what exactly, like, let's not infight. Dave Rubin was instrumental in getting Trump elected. First of all, L. Second of all, okay, so Matt Walsh, it's like you have this whole movie, What is a Woman? You've made that like your whole thing, fighting against the woke left, but we've essentially invited the woke left into conservatism. So what even is conservative? Like, yeah, we need a civil war, we need a purge, we need a cleansing of conservatism. It's a joke. You know, they have no positive mission statement, it's all a negative. All they can say is what they're against, but not they're for. Half of conservatism won't even say Christ is king, won't even say anything pro-Christian because they don't want to alienate Jews and Muslims or atheists. They want to see more what, reasonable. So it's just like, okay, what exactly do we stand for? What do you want the country to actually look like? It's not enough to say what you don't want the country to look like. That's not good enough. So Matt Walsh says, if we're going to have a conservative civil war, the dividing line should be those who believe in protecting and preserving marriage. What even is that if two dudes can get married? The family, what even is that if two dudes can adopt a kid? And unborn life versus those indifferent or opposed. Okay, do you disavow Dave Rubin, who's buying children out of the womb? You can't be a conservative in any meaningful sense if you don't want to conserve the bedrock of civilization itself. What is that exactly? And then so Nick responds, the dividing line should be Israel first versus America first, actually. So true, King. So succinct, so well said. So well said. And Matt Walsh responds, if someone hates Israel but also supports dismembering infants and letting gay couples purchase babies and dismantling marriage and the family, do you consider themselves an ally? Nick doesn't take the bait and replies, you just described Israel, bro, because that's literally what they're doing. Like, that's literally what they're doing right now. Right now, as we speak. And they celebrate it. And then Matt Walsh says, you didn't answer the question. So really what Nick is doing, he's like rejecting the premise and the framing that Matt Walsh is presenting. You know, he's saying like, okay, like Nick is saying, I see what you're trying to do here, but like literally Israel is guilty of everything that you are supposedly against. And Matt Walsh is trying to corner him into answering this question. So Nick responds, you said the dividing line in the, quote, conservative civil war, end quote, should be gay adoption and abortion. Those issues should be a non-starter for the right. The much more imminent and divisive question is whether our civilization will be dominated by organized Jewry and its accomplices. Very well said. And of course, he's not going to answer the fucking question. Of course, he's not going to. He won't even say. So Matt Walsh replies, "I agree with those issues. I agree that those issues should be a non-starter on the right. But there are plenty of people who are avowedly opposed to Israel and who also are avowedly opposed to the family, marriage, and the sanctity of human life. Most of them would not call themselves conservatives. That's true. But some of them do. More to the point, you say the dividing line is over the issue of Israel. So my question to you is whether you'd consider an anti-family, anti-life leftist who opposes Israel to be an ally. In other words, are they on your side of the line? To answer the question, this is just like fucking ridiculous. To answer the question for myself, I'm America first. I never want to see Israel's interests placed above my country's interests under any circumstance. This is just fucking lip service, because you literally work for Ben Shapiro, whose sole job in American politics is to make Americans more pro-Israel. So, like, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but your actions are in contradiction to that. I oppose this war in Iran, but if someone agrees with me on these points yet disagrees with me about protecting the family, like, shut the fuck up, dude. Protecting the family. Dude, like, this is just, like, rhetoric. Ultimately, like, and obviously I'm against all this stuff, but, like, our country is being flooded with immigrants. We are, the American empire is collapsing before your very eyes, and it's because of our alliance with Israel. And the same people that are pushing that are also in favor of all of the things you're supposedly against. Attacks against marriage, attacks against the family. Who do you think are the biggest proponents of that? So it's like, this is like so obtuse. Marriage and human life, I would not consider them an ally in any meaningful sense at all. The family is the bedrock of civilization. It is the most fundamental thing, even more fundamental than the nation. We must be aligned on that, at least, in order to be allies. Like, that's cool and all, man, but like, how does that, like, what the fuck even is that? You're gonna get up there and say, we're pro-family. How is that? What is really actionable about that? Okay, what is even actionable about that? One of the reasons why people are struggling to have families, one of them, is because of the economic conditions that we're currently experiencing. People cannot afford to have a lot of kids. People look ahead and, we're talking 20, 60-year mortgages. Everything is on fucking Klarna. Everything is on a like payment plan now. Buying groceries is now spread out over like 2 months. Like, that's our reality right now. So to say that these things don't matter, you know, our foreign policy doesn't affect us domestically, that there isn't a consequence of that is affecting the family life, is just ridiculous. Like, one absolutely does have so much to do with the other. Nick responds, I only have 280 characters to respond, but clearly if somebody disagrees with you on those points and wants to put Israel first, go to war with Iran, have our society subverted by a Jewish fifth column, you would consider them an ally as long as they oppose gay adoption? So true. Where's the response, Matt Walsh? Where's the response? Where's the response? So you think that, okay, you think you can have the most Jewish Israel first guy on the fucking planet that is also against gay marriage and adoption and transgenderism and all that, who wants Americans to go die in Iran for Israel, you consider them an ally? Like, seriously? Because you agree on those points? That's just ridiculous. But what Matt doesn't really understand is, like, when we talk about the dividing line being Israel first versus America first, like, that is like the first litmus test. You know, that is like the prerequisite for any kind of alliance to occur. It's not the only factor, but of course Matt Walsh is going to be obtuse and he's going to say, oh, you think Israel is the only thing that matters? What about trannies? And it's like, really, bro? Do you think we're pro-tranny? Do you think we're pro-gay? We're not. We're not at all. But it's like, again, Matt Walsh won't get to the crux of the matter. Where does that, like, who are the biggest proponents of that stuff? It's Jews. It's Jews. They're the ones pushing that stuff the hardest, always have been. But he won't talk about that. Look at how he completely dodges the fucking topic. Nick is talking about organized Jewry. He completely avoids mentioning Jews, like, as a collective. Downplays the significance of this war in Iran. But what about the Jews? Or what about the trannies? What about this, that, or the other? Okay, what about them? Crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy. Big culture war starting up. General Flynn, Patrick Bet-David, and Sean Hannity all going after Catholics. Seems coordinated. Fuck them, dude. Fuck them. It's insane. It's insane. They're going after Catholics. You want to go after Catholics? You want to go after Catholics? Go ahead, man. Go ahead. You want the Republican Party to be the party of anti-Catholicism? Go ahead. See how that plays out for you in the fucking midterms. You like, it's just total, like, political incompetency. Total fucking, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Like, they're actually so incompetent, it's painful. You wish they were more Machiavellian. You wish they were smarter than this, but they're really not. You would think Trump would say, ooh, you know, maybe we shouldn't ostracize Catholics. That's a big voting bloc. That's not going to play well. Catholics are, you know, maybe that's not a good idea. You know? It's just unbelievable, man. Congolese are moving to North Carolina. Can we send Candace back to... Yeah. Yo, what's up, SSB? Late stream? I know. I just... I've been uninspired. I've been so uninspired. I don't know. It's just the same shit. I don't know. You think Matt Walsh is a smart guy, but he's misinformed and doesn't do any research? I don't think he's... Look, I think he's a fucking cock loser. I think that's what he is. I'm not even gonna give him any credit. There's no credit left, man. There's no fucking credit. If Candace has more balls than you, you're like a total fucking... You know. You're just a total fucking loser. And I don't have any respect for that. Because he's an op. He's an enemy. I don't care Like, all this culture war slop, it's like, yeah, dude, we talked about that 10 years ago. Yeah, trannies are gross. What is a woman? Matt, what is a man, Matt Walsh? Can you tell me what a man is? Can you tell me what a man is? I thought a man has a spine. I thought a man speaks up. I thought we should care about the truth, first and foremost. So the fact that, like, Jews have a stranglehold over our country, it's like, that is the truth. If you have one obligation in this life, in this world, it's to the truth. Stand on fucking business, dude. Instead of working for an enemy of America. So, I give Matt Walsh zero credit. I have nothing but contempt for him, because all he's doing is giving Ben Shapiro more credibility. Him, Michael Knowles, Matt Fradd are all ops. They're all enemies. Matt Walsh is a theocratic fascist. For whom, exactly? For the Jews? Doesn't seem like you're a theocratic fascist for Catholicism. So, people like Matt Walsh are worse than Ben Shapiro. 100%. Ugh. Matt Walsh, if given a topic, can dissect it, but this guy always takes the easy way out. Yeah, I mean, for what? For his shekels, his bag of shekels, dude. He won't tell the truth for a bag of shekels. He'll be routinely humiliated by his boss, as his boss, like, makes fun of Catholics. And he just sits there and takes it like a bitch. Crazy, man. Good thing I have good shoes for you. What's up, George? Yeah. Gotta have the shoes, man. We're just happy Ben lets Matt Walsh talk to Nick. Not even, dude. I'm not happy about that. Like, dude, just fuck this guy. Honestly. Dude, is there, like... Can we, like, get some, like, actual, like, decent royalty-free music? Who made these fucking beats, man? We'll just play the Oblivion soundtrack. I think this is fine. Thank you for going live. We appreciate you. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just... Like I said, there's just not really a lot to talk about. I'm kind of bored. The news sucks. I really haven't even been listening to the news. There's nothing. Dude, this is a legendary reaction gif. Legendary reaction gif. I'm seeing it everywhere. Oh, dude, Philip DeFranco, look at this guy.
What about Nick Fuentes? Because the Washington Post just published a pretty striking analysis of how Fuentes, one of the most extreme far-right figures online, has been able to make massive amounts of money despite being banned from nearly every mainstream and even some non-mainstream.
Why does he look like that, bro? Why does he look deformed? What happened to him? Did he always look this bad? How is my cortisol level right now? Higher than it should be. Higher than it should be. I am irritated. DeFranco is washed. Yeah, he is.
Stream social media platforms. Because Fuentes has become one of the biggest streamers on Rumble. Since joining, he's hosted more than 700 streams, gained nearly 700,000 followers, and racked up over 100 million video views just there. But because he has no sponsors,
all these people fucking pocket watching, bro.
no
Seriously.
Monetization, he relies almost entirely on super chats, right? Those paid donations that pop up on screen during a live stream. So the Post, they analyzed
this guy is definitely on
over
Ozempic, bro.
1,400 hours of his streams, and they used AI to count those donations as they appeared in real time. And their findings were that since Trump took office in January of last year, Fuentes has received nearly $900,000 from roughly 11,000 donors just there. And since July, they say that he's been pulling in at least $60,000 a month. Though what was interesting to me is that nearly half of that revenue came from just the top 5% of donors, right? More than 400,000.
A lot of people still think we can go back to Obama era, stuck in the past and outdated. He has AIDS 100%. Yeah, something's wrong with him. Nobody watches this guy anymore. Yeah, he's just become like a political hack. You know, he's like one of these slop tubers. He's like arrogant liberals. Like, oh, you believe that? Oh, you're far right. You know, that kind of like. Okay, dude. You know,
dollars came from just that small group. And then as far as the rest, it was smaller donors mostly given $30 or less. Also, it is worth noting that, most donors are anonymous. So, one person could actually be giving from multiple accounts, or multiple donors could be sharing a username. But still, the pattern.
dude, it's like everybody's on Ozempic, bro. And that shit is not good for you. You can lose your eyesight. You know, my parents actually know somebody that was prescribed Ozempic and she lost vision in one of her eyes or something. Yeah, do not fuck with that stuff.
Was clear enough. And notably,
it's kind of crazy it's still on the shelf. It's actually insane. Like, there have been so many problems, so many really severe side effects reported that are frequent, that they should pull it from the shelves. But I swear, like, people are like so addicted to being skinny with like minimal effort that like they're willing to take the risks. Like, no, don't pull it. Like, yeah, okay. Just I feel like, honestly, man, if you know the risks, and again, it's really not that hard to lose weight, and you still take Ozempic, that's like cosmic justice, man. It is kind of cosmic justice that it'll cost you your eyesight or something severe like that. There are no shortcuts in life, man, I'm telling you. What's up, Forge? Your aunt is on that shit? Damn, dude. It's so risky, man. She is one of those people who still thinks she's young. Damn. You just gotta age. You gotta transition to your unk phase gracefully, you feel me? You just gotta say, alright, I'm unk now. It is what it is. Listen up, young blood. Listen up, young blood. Let me tell you about something. You just gotta transition into unk seamlessly with grace. Better to just smoke cigarettes. Unironically, probably. It's probably better to just like pop some Zins and call it a day. Or like, I don't know. He's on Retta. That's great. Daughter, aka your cousin, gets fillers and Botox and all sorts of shit. Ugh. Wait, daughter, aka my cousin? What? Pause, what? What? What is that sentence? Mello, let's hop on roids, let's do it. Let's get fucking freakishly huge. Just cause. Fuck it, let's do a couple cycles. Mello is on peptides, imagine. Yeah, your wiener is already small enough. What? No, actually steroids make your wiener bigger. Makes your balls small. Your aunt's daughter? Okay. Gotcha. I was gonna say, what's going on there? What's going on there in the fam? You got some explaining to do, SSB. Got some explaining to do. Is that even possible? Your daughter is also your cousin? So that would have to mean that you would have to have sex with your aunt then. That's some wild shit, SSB. I knew you were a freak like that. Androgenic is on roids and he is bald. Guess you just gotta, then, in order to offset the balding from the roids, you gotta hop on minoxidil and finasteride. Right? And in order to offset, I don't even know what side effects are associated with those. In order to offset those, you gotta like do some other drugs, and then you just become a cocktail of all these different drugs and hope your heart doesn't give out or that your brain doesn't explode. Like you don't have a massive seizure and just end up a vegetable. But that's the cost of ascension, That's the cost of ascension.
the donations spiked during moments of political crisis or violence. Or they surged last summer during the protests over Trump's immigration policy, though I will say that the single biggest boost came from his appearance on Tucker Carlson's podcast, right, which, as we covered, ignited a full-scale MAGA civil war. Some slammed Carlson for platforming Fuentes, others defended the interview as necessary because they argued Fuentes represents a real and growing faction of the political base there. And in the month after that interview, Fuentes' super chat revenue soared to $100,000. And, that was a big moment. He's still profiting. His average monthly donations are up 10% since that appearance. But then also, super chats aren't his only income stream. But he also runs $100.
I feel like Twitter audio is always really low. I don't know if that's just
subscriptions
me.
to a private chat room where he interacts with fans, and he sells.
Androgenic fell off. Fake hat hair. There's no recovery from that. Aura loss. I feel like that was scripted. Though. Because he had just gotten like his hair transplant or something. I don't know. Money shifted your auto. Someone take your man card. Finasteride doesn't have negative side effects. It's actually good for cardiac health and skin health longevity. He's open about being bald. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked into finasteride. Get it out, Unc. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have hair problems. Neither of my grandparents, grandfathers were balding. I have a full head of hair. Hairline hasn't moved. I do have like some shampoo and conditioner that I like use, like sort of like to preemptively prevent any kind of hair loss, and it legitimately works. Like that was recommended by Derek for More Plates, More Dates. Stuff actually works. So, but other than that, like I'm not doing minoxidil or finasteride. Just mullet I don't have a mullet. Screw DeFranco and look into this stuff. Who do you look like in your family? That should tell you your future. I don't know if it's like a wives' tale, but I think like if both of your grandparents have a full head of hair, your grandfather's that is, then you should be good. But my uncle has a bald spot. He's balding. Unlucky. But my dad's fine. Count your blessings and stick up for your follicularly challenged brothers. Eggmen, rise up. Bald Eggmen, rise up. Your time has come. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think if I lost my hair, it would just be over for me. I'm rope maxing. If I lose my hair, it's cooked. It's done. That's a joke in Minecraft. On a Minecraft farm, as in I'm gonna use a rope to leash all my cows to reel them in. Nothing crazy. But I had a nightmare. I told this story before. I had a nightmare. I literally woke up in the middle of the night in like a cold sweat because my hairline had receded to the top of my head. I was like, ah! And I had to check. Oh shit, we're good. And that's why I got this shampoo and conditioner. So, Grandpa on my mom's side had a long hair till he died. On my dad's side, your Gramps is bald. Uh-oh. Better hop on the shampoo and conditioner trend. Androgenic has a weird head shape. Yeah, he does. Balding nightmares, true. So true. So. Norwood reveal, imagine it's just like, imagine I lift my hair, like, I lift my hair up and it's just like back to here where my headphones are. Imagine. Looking like, what was that robot from Cloud City? You know? Empire Strikes Back. Lobot. I look like Lobot. You know? I'm looking like this guy with my headphones on. That's crazy. Show us the hairline. Hairline's solid. Hairline is solid. Solid ass hairline. So. Now I see it. Franco is a lesbian gym teacher. Oh. Yeah, it does kind of look like it, huh? Yeah. Now on the downside, I do have gray hairs already. I started getting gray hairs when I was in 7th grade. I got my first gray hair. So that's an L. So, you know, got a little nerf there. You know, I put the stat points in the hair density, lost some of the hair color. So, got some gray hairs. But, not too bad. I do have a widow's peak. Don't go Joe Rogan, balding max. All these UFC guys are bald maxing. Well, I know Joe Rogan's also on test, right? He's on some... He's open about that, but... Yeah, I don't want to look like a fucking shriveled nutsack, to be honest, man. Some people can, like, kind of pull it off, but you will always look better with hair. Yeah, I have a hairy ass that's a better stat load, TBH. Okay, you know, like, some things you don't have to share with the class, okay? Cortisol spike in 7th grade, I guess so. I guess I've just been cortisol spiking my whole life. L cortisol. Alright, let's see what Joe Rogan has to say.
Rumble got bigger specifically because of the fact there's pushback on YouTube. Because they literally won't even let Nick Fuentes on YouTube.
So true.
And he's on Rumble, and he's like their #1 guy.
He's killing it on Rumble.
See, that's the thing. It's like if you hold something back, you're just going to make another version of it that opposes it. And they're going to have more energy to fight against you because you've stopped the truth.
Yeah.
You've stopped the truth about, like, not like about petty things, about really important things. Rumble got...
Alright, have him on your show, Joe. Have Nick on your show. Have him on your show, bro. What's the fucking deal? What's the big deal, man? Have Nick on your fucking show. Stand on business. You know, I asked Google AI Gemini to assess my hair. I initially read that wrong, thanks to Smelly. My teeth, my body weight, and it gave a good response. AI will replace these doctors. Rogan low-key fell off. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll replace doctors, I think, but you're still gonna want some level of accountability, and I wouldn't want AI, you know, to hallucinate my health situation, you know? I also, like, let's be real, when I go to the doctor, he better be East Asian or white. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. You see some of these people graduating, you see some of these people with credentials outside the country, and I'm like, I'm not letting you near me. I'm not letting this person fucking near me. Straight up. I know that's not a hot take, but I want to know for a fact that my doctor got to where he is based on his own merit and credentials. And with, like, DEI working against certain people, I know if there's like a Japanese or Korean doctor or a white guy, then they went through the fucking ringer to get there. So. No, I had a good black doctor before. It's a heuristic. It's a heuristic. It's a rule of thumb. There are going to be exceptions. There are going to be exceptions. But if you don't know any better, you need to consider these things. So. That guy was good. He got rinsed in a divorce, though. Oof. Your doctor is straight from China. Oh. Oh, let me look at your eyeball. Let me look at your eyeball. Oh, you can't see no good? You can't see no good? Please read the chart for me. Can you read the chart? What does it say? Can you read the chart for me? Okay, Dr. Ching. He was a Nigerian. Dude, Africans are funny, man. Africans are funny. Please look at the chart, sir. Let me just look at some of my, some of the things I saved to react to. I feel like this is, we already kind of talked about that. Daily Mail using Photoshop pictures of Michael Jackson. See what they do to you? If you speak out against the Jews, see what they did to Michael Jackson, what they're doing to Ye. So, which I guess I'll talk about another thing I wanted to talk about, but I saw this on Reddit, and it is the Strokes. They're playing at Coachella, and they were like dropping some CIA red pills, and if you know, full disclosure, Julian got fat, bro. What the fuck? Holy shit. Damn. Come on, dog. I know he's like in his 50s, but dude. Is he really that old? Oh, he's close. He's 47. Drop a little red pill here. Martin Luther King sucked. Martin Luther King sucked. You know, his whole story was a machination. They wanted to martyr him, but he was a serial adulterer, closeted homosexual, card-carrying liberal gish gallop about, like, you know, government overthrows in like Central and South America. It's like, dude, okay, first of all, are we gonna pretend like all of these leaders were like good guys? For example, like Maduro, are we gonna pretend that Nicolas Maduro was a good guy? Like he wasn't just essentially a gangster, like an incredibly corrupt politician. But that's also just how the world works, you know, because the Soviet Union during this period of time was doing everything they could to establish a foothold in Latin America. You know, we were doing similar things in Asia. They were doing similar things in Latin America. It's like we were engaging in this proxy war. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it works. And I'm not here to defend the CIA, but I'm not here to defend third worldism. And that's what a lot of these like liberals are doing. They're like defending the third world. Oh, these poor, innocent, like despot leaders in like Bolivia. Who fucking, dude, these places are like shitholes. These places are like communist shitholes. The fuck, you're defending these people because like, and again, I'm not here to defend the CIA, but it's like, get a grip, dude. Like, you guys are gonna be like anti-racism. It's like, bro, that is like you understand that this like racism construct is destabilizing. Introducing the concept of racism has destabilized our country. That is a vector of attack for foreign influence. That's exactly what's happened. That's exactly what's happened. So these liberals just don't fucking get it. And they think it's all about the CIA, our government, America is evil. It's like, get a grip, man. You think America is evil? And I'm not here to defend our government. You could call it the deep state, the CIA. But I think America is a lot more moral than the fucking Congo. I think America is a lot more moral than Sudan, where there's an ongoing genocide, where they just fucking kill each other all the time. I think we're a lot more moral than like India, where they haven't figured out how not to get hit by trains. You have like hundreds of train incidents every single day. How? I don't know. I think America is a much better, more moral country. And I'm not going to defend everything we've done. I think we're an occupied country like other countries are occupied. I think we have a real problem. But it's like, if you think you're you're getting to the kernel of the truth, gut check. Do you think that you are red pilling people, that you have it all figured out? You know, that you are against the evil empire, and they're letting you go on to the biggest concert, the biggest music festival in America, and put on this show for millions of people live and or around the world to view. Do you think they would just let you do that? Or do you think you would end up like Michael Jackson or Kanye West? Like, seriously. And that's the difference between the Strokes, that are like these like dumb libtards, And somebody like Ye or somebody like Michael Jackson that actually named the crux of the plot, like actually named them, you know? That's why you're allowed to like rail against the CIA all day long. You could put on your tinfoil hat and you can cry about the atrocities the CIA has committed all fucking day long on like the biggest platform with the biggest megaphone in the world. But the moment you say that other thing, that's when you get canceled. That's when you get silenced. That's when they throw the fucking book at you. So it's just like libs just don't get it, man. They just don't get it. You know, their ideological priors prevent them from seeing what's really going on here. They are still totally propagandized. So, yeah. Liberals are finished, stuck in 2015. Yeah, it's just, ugh. He's 50, so he must be Gen X. Yeah, I think he is on the tail end of Gen X. CIA liggers glow in the dark. You can see them when you're driving. America is evil, but it's not uniquely evil. Every government everywhere is evil. Liberals just think America is the only evil in the world. Well, it's misplaced. It's like they think like America as a country is inherently evil because of like colonialism. And that's just not true, actually. Colonialism was overwhelmingly a good thing. American colonialism was a good thing. Look at America and how, you know, these colonists brought civilization, put an end to a lot of the barbarism that the indigenous people, the American Indians were doing. And I think everyone would agree that the conditions are better now and more civilized than they were before the colonists arrived. And that is the overall trend for this, you know, colonialism around the world. And so there's a difference between America is inherently evil and we have evil people running the regime. These are things that seem like they're the same thing. They seem like, you know, there's no distinction between the two, but there very much is a distinction. They're not the same, actually. Like, yeah, our regime is evil and they need to be replaced. But the country itself is not. The fundamentals of this country, the founding principles are not, actually. That's just like third worldist cope. Third world libtard cope. So I actually love this country and I think it's fantastic. And no, I don't think America is inherently evil. That's just like, yeah, do not be convinced by that kind of like do not be convinced by that. Liberals think America's the only evil in the world. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and again, it's not America per se. It's the moneyed interests, the international clique, and the current regime that I would argue are evil. The Onion is taking InfoWars. Say what? Mello's a big fan of the Strokes. Even okay, I am actually a big fan of the Strokes. Every country would do it if they could. And those that can't just cry about it. So anyway. They'll go to Coachella next year, make a vlog there. Yeah, what am I gonna vlog? Look at all these people. Damn, look at she got her titties out. Anyway, you know, I'm gonna go around with my little fucking microphone. So what do you think about 9/11? What do you think about the war in Iran? You think that you're going to get some really genius answers there? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. These clips are, dude.
I had sex with them last night, so now I'm moving on to you.
Oh, I'm not like in the lineup. Like I'm not like you can't. I'm either one or like none.
Oh, definitely none then.
Oh, okay.
But that's all good.
Just kidding. You can have me in the lineup.
I had sex with
Brother. Folded like a fucking lawn chair. Folded like a fucking lawn chair. And then this shit's, oh, dude. So Foy crashes out after clavicular kisses her mom.
My daughter.
That's her daughter right there.
Right there.
No, her daughter.
That's just crazy, man.
It's kind of funny. I don't even know who the hell you are, but she's like loving you. Maybe you should kiss her.
Yeah, can I kiss her now?
Are these the mother-daughter prostitute combos that we heard about in the Weimar Republic?
You don't want me with your mom?
That's where we are right now. Not to be that guy, not to be the fucking history chud.
Come on.
Damn, she kind of chopped though. She kind of fat.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Why did you kiss my mother?
Because I wanted to get your attention.
You're lying. You're talking to all the girls in this place. You're talking to everybody here, and you overdosed the other day.
I haven't kissed any other girls besides your mom.
That's a lie.
I swear to God.
I'll watch this later.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
No, you're
On
lying.
God.
You're lying.
I swear to God.
You're lying.
You can go watch the tape.
I'm not gonna kiss you because you kissed my mother.
Hey, maybe I'll kiss you tomorrow.
I don't know.
I have your number, so
Huh?
I have your number. I'll give you a kiss on the
You don't have my
cheek.
number. You kissed me on the cheek.
There.
It's just crazy, dude. It's just like. No, what is the future of InfoWars? I don't know. Did they actually wait? Is that true? Was that? I don't know what the future of InfoWars is. I haven't been following that story. Trump just legalized psychedelics, so Coachella is going to get lit next year. We could make like a nature documentary. Just go people watch and watch people like just be, you know, living their best life, I suppose. Clavicular is playing all that for a clip. The clip is forming talk. This degen stuff to the max. Why is that woman in the club at that age? Well, because she's a hoe. Let me find this. So apparently the father tweeted out something. Let me see if I can. Come on, somebody's got to have it. Really? It's not in the comments anywhere. But anyway, there's apparent. I don't know if this is true, but this is apparently. Wait, I wonder if did Nick tweet about it? Maybe he did. I know it was going around. Maybe it wasn't true. Okay, if it got deleted, it probably wasn't true. It was probably bait. Yeah, it probably wasn't true. So she's got some explaining to do to her husband. Was the father thing even real? I'm probably not, honestly. If it got deleted, it's probably not real. Seen the tweet, but people stopped posting it after? Yeah, I'm not sure. I have a feeling Class Fate is similar to Icarus. I support him, but it's scary. You know, it is. That's like the limit test, you know? And I've talked about this from day one. My thoughts on it. It's like, on the one hand, you know, is this hubris? Are we messing with stuff you shouldn't mess with? On the other hand, there is this Faustian spirit, you know, of Flav says, I don't know where the limit is, I don't know where the line is, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna dedicate my life, my existence, my health to finding it, to this soul mission. And there is something very admirable about that. Like, he is a pioneer. He is paving the way. He is exploring uncharted waters. And so that spirit, I think, is admirable. But yes, any observer or any outside observer would tell you, like, yeah, bro, this probably, there's a good chance this won't end well with the drugs, the peptides. You know, he's ODing on stream. He's having all these problems. But even Clav said, like, yeah, I'm probably not going to live a very, long time, but, does anybody want to live forever? I guess that is the question. It's like, do you want to live, to quote Drake, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, it's like that. It's like, okay, I kind of, what is better? To burn twice as bright for half as long, or, half as bright but twice as long. Because I think for every Clav, you're going to have 1,000 people that try to be Clav. But instead of getting all of the accolades and the success, you just get the flame that burns half as long. So that's the risk. Father needs to put his daughter on a diet. True. Until she has a defined jawline. No more eating. Show the class your work of art. Just follow me on Twitter to see it. Did he actually open a nightclub, or is he just promoting it by some tri-person owner? I think he actually, my understanding is that he owns a nightclub, or at least partial ownership. I don't know if that's bait or not, but I didn't really look into it that closely. Guy probably on Viagra. Yeah, he probably is too. Yeah, he said he has ED. His dick doesn't work. Zorko said the same thing. Like, that's what, the cocktail of drugs that fuck with your hormones can do. Just makes your dick not work. ED at his age is nasty work. Well, they've got a drug for that. Anyway. Yeah, dude. Brother. Yeah, okay. Should I start doing nicotine? What do you guys think? Nicotine, what are we thinking? W or L? What are we thinking? Brother, how? Fucking how? How?
Yes. Live from United States, Brooklyn, New York, it's your boy.
Like, do you not read the clearance, the height clearances before you get on the highway, bro? Can you imagine? Save your teeth. Made this far without it. But I could be so much more. ED is temporary. It's from the party drugs like pre-gab, coke, or alcohol. I don't know. Is it? Zerka said like he just like... or maybe he's talking about something else. He might have been talking about his energy. Like he's just like super low energy because he fucked with his hormones. That's like another thing. And in the case of Clav, I know I'm going to concern troll for a second. But it's like, becoming dependent on those drugs. It's one thing to do it socially, but he's now like professionally, economically dependent on these drugs because he streams on these drugs. He feels like he needs them to make content, and content is his branding. That's how he makes money. That's his whole career. That is like a scary place to be in. It's one thing if you feel like you need the drugs to be loose and to feel good at a party or a social event. But again, like, you just got a raw dog life, man. You just gotta if you're autistic, if you're neurodivergent, then just like study the interactions like you would anything. Like if you can study looks maxing, if you can learn all of the secrets about whatever autistic thing you're fascinated with, you can study and become fascinated with how to be charismatic. And it's gonna be painful because you're gonna look like an idiot sometimes. But like literally, if you can notice patterns, you can notice patterns in people. But people just don't want to look stupid, you know? It hurts their confidence, and you know, it has effects on future performance if you're super self-conscious because you keep failing, you know? Mellow, thoughts on NoFap? It's good. Mellow's ranked 4th in the... Okay. Alright. What's up, Hawker? How's it going, dog? How's it going? How's it going? I already know what you're gonna do. I need to get a dog.
Did you catch any of that? We're going kind of fast, aren't we? Hey, can you slow down some? Go. Dude, I don't know what you're saying. You need to slow down, dude. You're going way too fast. Yo, keep your eyes on the road, dude. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Turn around. What the hell is wrong with you? Whoa, Greg, calm down, dude. How many?
That was stupid. Why did I watch that? Why did I fucking watch that? Anyway. What the fuck? Holy shit. That's not good. Most people don't care about huge updates for CS2 in the last few days. Game feels so good right now. Bro, just more clips of Indians fucking... Dude, every day I just see like videos of Indians dying completely preventable deaths. The other day, I watched this fucking Indian guy try to chase this monkey off of his lawn with a super long stick, and he hits the fucking power lines above him and electrocutes himself and dies. It's like, dude. How are these real people? If God isn't real, why do animals... Why do we love to pet animals and animals love to be petted? Dude, those nails are crazy, bro. What the fuck, bro? Top MAGA influencer revealed to be AI created by a guy in India who made a mint off of lonely men online. This is the world we live in, brother. This is the world we live in. Nick Fuentes has the worst taste in art. Kanye, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars nerd, and other takes that are ridiculous. How old are you, Zodiac? How old are you? How old are you? My Twitter feed has been so buns lately. Yeah, Twitter's just been ass. It's been pretty dog shit. But there's just literally nothing going on. guy just living his best life.
Stop using ChatGPT! I gave you Turbo AI to help you learn something. Do you hear me? I can't do this anymore.
That's a skit. It's just, we're just slot maxing, bro. We're just slot maxing. What's going on in India, bro? What the fuck is going on over there, man? I don't know. Has Pokimane hit the wall? Yes. She is cooked. Hassan hit that? True. Rare Hassan W. Rare Hassan W hits it and kicks her to the fucking curb. Rare India W. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there, man. You are allowed to like trash music and TV, but stop telling other people have to like it. Sopranos is proof Italians are less white, if anything. What are you going on about? You're coming in here like super agitated about shit. I think you failed the litmus test, honestly. You did not pass the vibe check. Falling for obvious rage bait. When Nick says like, when he like shits, I'm not even gonna explain it. You either get it or you don't. But a lot of people are just getting just getting rage baited out. They're just getting filtered.
Ronald Reagan understood this well. To some of our, let's just say, parents who are in the back. Okay, we'll address Ronald Reagan from your generation. He understood this well. He famously said, right, you can travel to Italy, but you would never be an Italian. You can travel to France, but
Yeah, this guy sucks so much, man. It's almost like he's rage baiting us with shit like this. W. Joel Webbin. W. Joel Webbin. So true, Red 5. Yeah, just cook his fucking ass. Just cook his ass. Really, America's different? So, we somehow operate on a different set of principles than all these other countries? Get the fuck out of here, Vivek. This man needs to be deported. ASAP. I will vote for whomever promises to deport Vivek Ramaswamy and his entire family. And Italians are peak white. I don't know what you're talking about. The Roman Empire? Are you kidding me right now? Peak white. Enough with the Italian slander, okay?
我操
Brother.
我操
That is nightmare fuel. Oh yeah, maybe I should, Devin Nash, who is this, like, he's like this long time, kind of a staple in the, like, with the social media influencer live stream space. He does, like, a lot of, like, the, sort of the analysis and various analytics. He did, like, this, like, I don't know if I would call it a hit piece or an expose, but he did this long stream on like exposing like a lot of the new manufactured viral content economy. I don't think I'll cover it tonight, but I think I'll maybe talk about it tomorrow, or maybe I'll even just do a separate, like a total video on it. But he does seemingly, I haven't watched the whole thing, spoiler, But he talks about how like a lot of the big influencers are seemingly astroturf through like clipping campaigns in these private discords where they pay people to push certain content creators, and I think there's likely a kernel of truth to that. And I have some thoughts on not just on this, but I think just in terms of content altogether. I don't know about you guys, and I'm not here. This is not me saying I'm different, but like, doesn't it feel a little exhausted or exhausting? Just because like just being kind of emotionally manipulated all the time. Everything is rage bait. Everything is designed for maximum engagement, and nobody's being earnest. It's just like kind of everything is meta or ironic. I've sort of alluded to this before. I don't know. It's on the one hand, I get it. It works. That's kind of how the game is played. We all do it to some degree. But don't you just kind of want, aren't you just a little hungry for people that are just gonna like be 100% honest and straightforward and blunt, and not beat around the bush, not be sarcastic or vague post, be vague intentionally or anything like that, not deliberately always try to get a rise out of people. I don't know. I think there's like a bit of a hunger for that nowadays. I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, people are looking for, and one of the reasons why I think people find like Nick appealing is because, you know, yes, he engages in rage bait all the time, but he has moments of sincerity, and the utmost sincerity, like truly. If you watch his show all the time, you know, he'll put on a serious face and just say, this is what's up. This is how things work. This is my honest opinion about things. I think people are hungry for something genuine, something real. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are turning to faith. People are turning to religion. You know, Catholicism is having a huge year for conversions, and it's not just Catholicism, but just religion in general. I think it's up to like this generation, Gen Z, I think it's up to like 42% classify themselves as religious, where previously it was way down. It was like 19% or something like that for like millennials, at sort of the valley, the low point for faith, probably like what, 20 years ago, in the age of atheist rationality. So I do think there's a hunger for the truth. I think there's a sort of a spiritual awakening going on right now. Beyond just what, like, you know, the influencer space in general. I think people just want, you know, something straightforward, something honest. And I think a lot of people they don't necessarily want the truth in reality, because, you know, it's like a few good men. You can't handle the truth. That's so true. Most people can't handle the truth. I think it's somewhere like they're just tired of being lied to. They're tired of just the duplicitousness. They're tired of, like, you know, maybe just emotionally exhausted because everything is rage bait. Everything is engagement farming, you know, and it does get old. Everybody's doing it, and I feel like the next trend is just going to be straightforward and blunt and honest, you know, real in a sense. Because I look at this stuff, I look at like the tricks and like the strategies that people are doing, the tactics to, like, you know, have their clips blow up and whatever, and it makes me honest to God. It makes me just not want to do this shit at all. And it's not like I was really doing it to begin with, but I hate that. And I get it, it's an attention economy, but I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's just like, maybe it's just oversaturation. You know, because everybody's doing it, it's passé, it's distasteful. We just hit this point where it's like slop. Ugh. It's also tiresome. I'm sorry. You seen that all these guys bought views? Yeah, I'm willing to bet that a lot of the top streamers, a good chunk of their viewer count is botted. Beep boop. Yeah, bro, he's not lying. That Emily girl or whatever had the botting page. I was thinking of reacting to that too. I had the post up. But yeah, that Emily, extra Emily, she literally had the bot. What a fucking idiot. First of all, that hoe is like one of the most contemptible, disgusting Twitch streamers out there. Like, unironically, just a disgusting, like, trash can of a human being. She had like she has an Excel sheet of all the guys she's hooked up with and rates everything about them, like the quality of sex, everything about their wiener. It's like, who the fuck does that? That is like psychopath behavior. That's like fucking, that's so grimy that what? That's like next level hoe shit. That is next level. That is like innovation in the hoe space. You think you've seen it all? This bitch has spreadsheets. Why? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on in your head that you thought that was a good idea? That was a tasteful, not only a thing to do in the first place, but then to like think it'd be tasteful to share that in like a podcast. And all the fucking cucks are like, more power to you, girl. That's gross. What the fuck? That's like, put that bitch in a camp. Put that bitch in a fucking institution. That is not normal. We do not want more of that shit. Someone said that streamer Lacey only gets 100 viewers in that ballpark. With bots, he has 5K. I can see lawsuits in the future from advertisers regarding fraud. 100%. That's why Twitch doesn't want to expose it, because they're like, fuck, if we like ban all these streamers, all these view bots, first, that will blow up their own platform. Second, they will legitimately be hit with class action lawsuits for fraud, because they're getting advertiser revenue based on the number of viewers. All these streamers would go down, these talent agencies, that a lot of the talent agencies are botting their streamers because, you know, they want their client, the person they're representing to be more popular so they could get better brand deals. So many people would go down if this got explained. And so that's why Twitch is like, fuck, we've got a bomb ready to go off. And because of their negligence, the problem has only gotten worse. So instead of getting ahead of it all, now they've got a serious problem on their hand. Potentially a class action lawsuit for fraud that could take the whole platform down, could blow up the fucking streamer industry. And I'm here for it. I want that to happen. Not only because I'm self-interested, and that would be less competition, but these people are scumbags. These people are stealing paychecks. They're committing fraud. They're literally committing fraud. So, yeah, view botting, don't do it. Don't do it. And look, it's one thing to like pay for clippers. That's fair. But view botting, that's fraud. So, that's fake engagement. Big streamers bot all the time to feign relevancy until it becomes real. Yeah, like fake it. They have the mindset of fake it till you make it, you know? But I don't know how like you could like, not to be like a moral frog, but like how could you like, this is so cliche, but how could you like sleep at night knowing like you're a fucking loser? Like knowing you're not as funny, you're not as entertaining, you're not as captivating as you think you are, and you have to like lie about it. Like, yeah, I'm not actually very entertaining, I'm not actually very interesting or funny, so I fake it. Like, how do you have any kind of self-confidence? If I did that, I would be living on the knife's edge, you know? And I'm sure a lot of these people are. They're just like paranoid wrecks because, you know, when you live that kind of lifestyle, you're constantly paranoid about being exposed, you know, at least if you're not like a total sociopath. I know I would be. So, and clearly I'm not fucking view botting. Clearly I'm not view botting, so, you know. And if I were view botting, I would want a fucking refund. What is this shit? So, maybe a little younger. He used L in the correct context. I got pushed way behind the stream for no obvious reason. Damn. All the rah-rah talk is going out the door. These guys aren't getting views like before. Who's the rah-rah? I don't know. I'm sticking with Gen Xer. These people are literally committing fraud and then flexing their face about how hard they worked. Yeah. No, that's 100% true. It's just like, dude, fuck these people, man. It's like the whole like hustler. Like, and you know, it's like Andrew Tate kind of created this like this archetype of guy. You know, he's got the fucking, you know, look at me, and they've got their rented Bugatti. They rented for like a day for like what, $800 or whatever. You follow my 8-step program, and you could be driving a Bugatti just like me. You know, like that guy. What's his name? Lopez. I'm here in my garage. Got my Lamborghini. I got my books here, because knowledge is important. You know, these fucking morons selling their online courses, and it's all fake. You know, totally fake lifestyle, rented Bugatti, Airbnb mansion, you know. Here's me, I wake up, you know, I wake up at 4 a.m. and I get my 2-hour pump in. I take a cold shower, because, you know, that makes me hard. You gotta get hard and stay hard all the time. I'm always hard. You gotta be hard. Embody being hard. 8 a.m. rolls around, I got my first meeting of the day. Everybody shows up, they're wearing suits. If you're not wearing a suit, I say, get the fuck out of my house. You gotta dress for success. All this, like, influencer success guru bullshit, you know? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Come back down to earth. It's like, and like, part of it is, it is like, some people I know are doing it, like, as a bit. Like, I think that, who was that one guy that did the ice, like, the big black guy that raced speed and lost? I think that guy is just, like, totally in on the bit. But there are just a lot of people that are just, come on, bro. Yep. Come on. Some channels are overrun with bots. That includes interaction, which is scarier. Yeah, dead internet theory and all that. I'm not as black pill as you. I think the economy really goes into the dumps. We will see the industry go down. Streamers are already saying they're not getting paid as much as before. Myron Gaines said advertisers are not putting money into streamers as much as 3 or 4 years ago. I feel like they're wising up to it, because they're not seeing returns on their investments. They're like, okay, we pay all these streamers to like promote our brand or play this game for a few hours, and we didn't really see a bump, so probably not worth anymore. So I feel like advertisers are kind of putting 2 and 2 together and like, well, it's an oversaturated market. It is. Maybe it's just not worth it anymore, you know? Yeah, I think the streamer industry needs to just implode. I mean, there's just so many mediocre streamers. I know, like, it sounds like I'm just hating because, you know, I say this with self-awareness. I'm not just hating because I'm also going live I was gonna say every day, but that's not true. You know what I mean? Because I'm in competition with these people and I'm just trying to hate. But like, let's be real, man. A lot of these people are just total mediocrities. They're not funny. They're not interesting. And you can call them industry plants. You can call them astroturfed. I think there's truth to quite a bit of that. I don't hate on every streamer. But I think there's a fair bit of that going around. There isn't even that many new streamers now. I feel like there are, but like, who are half these people? Flaming Hot Mitts? Who is that? TJR? Who? Bevo? What? MD Motivator? 5-star Sam Frank? Zamina Flocka? You know, okay, I know who Cuffham is. I feel like a lot of these people, I'm like, who? Who are these people? I think this is maybe specifically Kick. So. But yeah. I think Kick is probably worse with botting than Twitch. But they're both pretty bad. I know you had more than 5 viewers all night. That's kind of high. They're on to me. I need to turn off my view bot right now. I go back to channels with less than 20 viewers a lot, which is interesting at least. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes I look at the shit that they're like recommending to me, and I'm like, get this shit off my homepage. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's be real for a second. There are some hidden gems out there that you're like, damn, this channel really should have more views. Other channels, I'm like, okay, there's a reason why you're getting no views. Just to, not hating, but it's true. Anyway. Knowledge. Ty Lopez getting sued for 112 million right now. Really? That's pretty funny. It always comes back to the stay hard bit. This is why I watch the show. Gotta stay hard, man. Drewski. Okay, I think Juicy's kind of funny at times, though. He's made me crack up sometimes. Still won't make jokes about certain people, though. But whatever. I've got low expectations for Drewski, you know. Ashton Hall, that was his name, Ashton Hall, the guy that raced Speed. I kind of think he's just in on the bit, you know. He just took it to the extreme. Name one interesting female streamer. Couldn't do it. Everything is oversaturated. I'm waiting for the stock market to implode. We need price discovery. Yeah, it kind of feels like that, huh? Maybe it's sort of a necessary thing that needs. I hate saying that, but I don't know. It feels like it's time for some hard times. I don't like saying that. I don't wish that, but it kind of feels like, you know. Maybe the Great Reset is not such a bad idea. Even the FaZe group is finished. Yeah, that FaZe is like cooked, bro. I don't even know what's going on with them. Oh, what's up, nice? You getting drinks right now? Hanging out, getting drinks. Maybe play more Marathon later. Yeah, it's late, dude. This is a late stream, but fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. Usually, haven't been going live this late, but it's yap session time. That's the Asian with the Aussie accent. Who's that again? Neon used to bot his way to 70k viewers. That makes no sense. The guy on screen is mellow in 7 years. What with the fucking... Please don't say that. Why do you say that? Why do you say shit like that? Why do you wish that upon me? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, nar. Mexican soda time? I'm out. I'm drinking sparkling water. Flavored sparkling water from Costco. Kiwi strawberry flavor. Low-key kind of bomb. I wonder if it's packed full of all kinds of artificial sweeteners or whatever. What do we got here? Carbonate water, citric acid, kiwi juice concentrate, natural flavors. What the fuck is natural flavors? Gum Arabic, sucralose, vegetable juice. What? In parentheses, color. Okay. Glycerol ester of rosin. Glycerol ester of rosin. That sounds like a Game of Thrones name. Green tea leaf extract. Niacinamide. Calcium D pantothenate. What the fuck am I drinking? Biotin, that's fine. Cyanocobalamin. Oh, vitamin B12. Okay, that's fine. Pyridoxine, hydrochloride, potassium benzoate, preservative, calcium disodium EDTA preservative, and a trivial amount of sugar. Well, it tastes good. Thoughts on the ceasefire extension? Seems like more of nothing. It's more of nothing, dude. I said pretty much at the top of the stream, like, Dude, you can take the headlines of today covering the Iran war, rewind the clock a month, and it will be just as relevant. There's nothing. I'm so tired of just nothing new going on there. It's so boring. It's so boring. It's just same shit, different day. Yeah. There's just nothing going on there. An indefinite ceasefire, Trump's biggest taco, Melo's drinking poison. Illness enters through the mouth, trouble comes out from the mouth. Oh, did you read, did you get that in a fortune cookie? Did you see that when you're going through like Bed Bath and Beyond next to your what is it, the live, laugh, love? Next to the live, laugh, love sign. You saw that and you're like, oh, that's so true. That's so me. I'm going to remember that one. That's good. That's a good one. You know, Atozi, he made a video on OF being financially cooked behind the scenes right now. Is that what Asmongold was reacting to? I saw that in my recommended. I didn't click on it. We could check that out too. It's a Chinese proverb. What's up, Razor? How's it going? I spiked Speaker's cortisol. You always fucking spike my cortisol. You think it's funny, you sick fuck. Always spiking my cortisol. You're trying to like looks minimize me. You're causing me psychological damage, and it's making me uglier, you fucking asshole. Oh, this must be the video you're talking about. Speak of the devil. Nope, literally.
Currently, the media space has been dominated by...
Hang on, let me pause my Oblivion music as let's investigate hoes. What are the hoes up to? It's been 30 seconds and we haven't checked in on the hoes.
How much some top earners are making on... But what hasn't really been discussed...
Are we really censoring OnlyFans? Is this... Do you get demonetized if you say OnlyFans, like in your YouTube video? Is that real? First comment. Same thing. Can't even say OnlyFans in a video now. Trying to break me out of your shell? Is that what we're calling it now?
Is how the company is...
Yeah, whole news alert. Big day for the unemployed, huh?
Billions of dollars in valuation in a very short amount of time. And things just got even more messy because is now in a very bad situation after the CEO passed away. So essentially you have one of the biggest platforms in the world, especially when it comes to that profitability per employee metric that you've probably seen online. And they just lost the one person running it, and almost nobody knew who he really was and that he existed. So the dude never gave interviews. There's really no real footage of him online. And one of the only pictures of him online was the one from his LinkedIn that had no ties to the platform whatsoever. So that's a little bit interesting. But for years, he was quietly making billions running one of the most controversial platforms on the internet. But then in just the last month, he passed away and left the entire business in limbo. So, I mean, to catch everyone up to speed here, OF was created in 2016 by a guy named Tim Stokely. He was the youngest kid in a family from Essex, England. And he spent years trying to launch internet business after internet business and had a whole lot of failures. And the guy burned through a whole bunch of his own money and goodwill from friends and family, to put it lightly. But his dad, Guy, real name by the way, he watched multiple projects go essentially nowhere and had funded more than a few of them. So when Tim came back with yet another idea, he went, okay, here's 10,000 pounds, and that's the last one I'm funding. Little did he know though, that money became the seed funds. And the original structure was simple. Creators set a monthly price, subscribers paid it, and the platform keeps 20%. And I guess the creator walks away with 80%.
If this guy does cocaine, I wonder which nostril he prefers. Sorry, I'm derailing.
Tim's original pitch wasn't necessarily focused on adult content, but the idea had been open to anyone who could build a paying audience, including adult creators since 2017. And from the start, it was a family operation in the early days.
Wait, go back.
Anyone who could build a paying audience, including adult creators since 2017.
Okay, so as soon as they made it a porn platform, it took off. Crazy. A good hoe is worth her weight in gold. One good girl is worth 1,000 bitches. I don't understand why it's illegal to do that in front of people, but when it's filmed, it becomes a private and legal act. That's fucked up. We have to ban these apps. You don't say. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. Kind of a big problem. Kind of a huge, enormous problem that is fucking up our society in a very real way. Of course, Nepo Baby gonna be a degen. I don't even think that it was necessarily his intent to be degenerate, to turn it into a degenerate platform.
It was a family operation in the early days, with Tim's brother, Tom, running the operations and their father, Guy, handling the finances. Guy, I guess, was just their guy and father. And that one group, I guess they figured out the model faster than anyone else. And that showed up in some serious numbers, because in 2018, the platform was gaining traction, but running headfirst into some structural problems. The payment processors that made it possible to, actually collect the money from the subscribers weren't a big fan of the adult side of their business. And obviously, no payment processing means no business, full stop. So Tim sold it. And
wait, actually, I guess you're right. Yeah, they were just a family of, that's always how it starts, huh? That's always how it starts, you give it an inch, you give gooners an inch and they take a mile, and then your platform is now a porn platform, It starts with indifference. Let them. What's a titty here? What's a booty cheek there? You sort of negotiate it with yourself, But it's still about supporting the creators you like. And then look at it now. Look at it now.
was someone that almost nobody had heard of, and
That's your Chinese proverb. So true. His left nostril is leaving his nose. It's like, damn, bro. You stare long enough into the abyss stares back into you. And when they get a lot of money, they say, I just want to stop. I'm tired. I want to get a husband or wife and children. They are just playing. Hoes, man, hoes. You can't undo history. You know what I mean? You just can't. You put out pornography one time, you're a porn star. You're a pornographer. That's what you are. You can't undo that. You made that decision. So
nobody would really hear of him for many years to come. His name was Leonid Ravinsky, who was born in Odessa, Ukraine in 1982. His family relocated to Chicago while he was still a kid, and he studied economics at Northwestern University and graduated in 2002. And from that point forward, he essentially built an entire career at, scaling internet companies while keeping his name almost completely out of circulation. And even after he became the owner of one of the most talked about platforms on the planet, a single photo of him made the rounds, the same one over and over, which was attached to a LinkedIn profile that described him as the president at Leo.com and, completely left OF out of the picture. So essentially what we know about this guy is he lived in a $19 million waterfront property in Miami, but he gave 0 interviews. He made no public statements. He was, I guess, for every practical purpose, someone who did not want to be found. What he was always doing, however, was running his own things, and he'd been building internet businesses since he was a teenager. And by his mid-20s, he'd built and operated more than 10 websites, developing a deep understanding in, I guess, the mechanics of adult content or entertainment and how that whole payment structure works and how he can get that to work without getting banned. And since he understood how this industry worked, when he was presented with the chance to buy, he did so in 2018 for $30 million. And it's safe to say that was a phenomenal investment for him, because in 2019, the platform processed around $300 million in total payments and cleared around $7 million in profit. Then a year later, that gross payment volume hit $2.2 billion. Then by 2021, it was approaching $5 billion. And none of these numbers were being announced, but the company files with the UK as required. But Leonid had no interest in turning any of these numbers into some massive press release like many other entrepreneurs would. But then came that moment that probably told you more about OF than anything else, because in August of 2021, the platform announced that it was going to ban explicit content. Now that was confusing to a lot of people, because that kind of sounds like if Burger King announced it was going to stop selling burgers. So why would they ever do that? Well, it makes sense a little bit later on when you get the full picture. But obviously, the response from the creators on their platform was immediate and very clear. So 6 days later, the ban was reversed, and I guess that just showed the creators that they're the product. They actually have the power here of this platform. Because at the end of the day, the platform cannot exist without the creators and the consumers paying for it. So the reason all this actually matters becomes a whole lot more clear once you look at the numbers, though. Because in 2024, they processed $7.2 billion in total transactions between the fans and the creators. OF's cut of that was about 20%, and that came out to $1.41 billion in net revenue. That is a behemoth of a company. But after expenses, pre-tax profit landed at $684 million.
Damn.
The entire operation ran by only 46 full-time employees.
That's an insane profit margin.
And then Leonid's personal payouts track the platform's growth as you would pretty much expect, because in 2021, he collected around $284 million. In 2022, he collected $338 million. In 2023, he collected $472 million. And then in 2024, he collected $701 million, which works out to about $2 million per day every day for the entire year, which means the total earnings pulled between 2021 and 2024 were just under $1.8 billion from a company that he paid roughly $30 million for. That might be one of the best investments of all time. But at the same time, the distribution between the creators is wildly uneven because, you have this whole notion where a bunch of people would start an OF and make a whole bunch of money. But for the most part, that's not true. It's very similar to how Twitch is in a way. I don't really like drawing comparisons between Twitch and but you have a handful of top streamers on Twitch that make a crazy amount of money, and then the average streamer makes way below.
That's a pretty fair comparison. It's like you have like a lot of women, obviously they're like, oh, I could be making millions of dollars selling nudes. And then like they make like $40 in the first month. How does that like not completely destroy your ego as a woman? How does that not completely destroy your ego? You're putting everything out there, fucking full spread eagle for $40 a month. Can you imagine? How do you not like kill yourself? How do you like not just like have like a panic attack? How do you not lose like all confidence in yourself? Like, damn, I put my shit out there and I'm making less than minimum wage. Chopped. Chop City, man. But it is true, a lot of it is just like marketing and stuff. There's truth to that. You need to like be like a certain level of attractiveness, and then just you need to have like a marketing A game, So AI will destroy OnlyFans. Yeah, unintended like Indian W. All these like Indians pretending to be like attractive white women are destroying. Like, is that not like a Golem story? This Jewish porn empire is being undermined by a bunch of third world fucking Indians with smartphones. Like, just how is that not like a classic Golem story? Yeah, he's Jewish. Yes, he is. Very donated to Israeli causes. This is crazy. They're complaining because MasterCard and Visa ban that type of money. They literally don't deserve any of the money they get for just taking pictures of their bodies and selling them. I mean, it's imagine what you can do with $2 million per day. How many people you can help. True. It's a lot of money. I told you left out one little detail about this guy. He's Ukrainian Jewish and a big donor to AIPAC and pro-Ukraine and pro-Israel war. Yeah, literally making money off of pornography. Pornography, soiling the Goyim, and then taking that money and funding their fucking war and subversion. It's just like, it's like the icing on the cake, Ooh, speaking of which, I have some strawberry pie. Oh, fuck. Oh man, I just remembered. It's like this the pie everyone's raving about from what is that place called? Whatever, but it's delicious. I might have to get some. I might have to end this stream soon and go get some pie. We're fat maxing. I'm literally going to embody. I'm literally going to do the opposite of what my title says, and I'm gonna go eat some pie after this. Anyway, they get more than they deserve while we work all day to cover up our university expenses. That app should be banned. Okay, yeah, it should be banned because it's evil, not because, you know, you're seething up that you have to work a wagey job and hoes just get to be hoes. Like, yeah, if the problem is the world is unfair, yeah, more at 11. No, so we shouldn't ban it because it's unfair. We should ban it because it's destabilizing and immoral. You know, it's like if the problem is like, you know, women have an unfair advantage, like, yeah, no shit. They can literally just like women have it so easy. They do. Yet they cry about, you know, having it so hard. It's like, it's so the opposite though. It is so the opposite. So, Mel talking about Virginia boys. Now we know how he smoothed out the payment process at prom, his newish friends, of course. He made a couple calls. And then no longer a problem. Portos? No, not Portos. Fuck, what is the place called? It's like some generic store. I totally forgot. Yes, they don't deserve the money, and this is actually harm to society as a whole. Yeah.
Minimum wage. And that's the case with as well. But I mean, that's just a whole nother topic for its own. But the thing is, by 2025, Leonid was looking for a buyer. And it didn't take long for him to realize,
oh yeah, if you guys are here, don't forget to like the fucking stream right now. Right now. And leave a comment what your favorite type of pie is. I think raspberry pie is my favorite. Or pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is delicious. Pumpkin pie. Yeah. And subscribe. Hit the bell to stay notified. Follow me on X and all my other socials in case I get banned or whatever. You know the deal. But do it right now before you forget.
Selling this platform is going to be a challenge. Because on paper, I mean, the investment is insane. Over $1.4 billion in annual
net. No. Don't type it in chat. Type it in the comments.
Revenue, profit margins that most businesses would consider borderline unbelievable, roughly 380 million registered users, and fewer than 50 people on payroll. If you strip the context and handed someone the financial statements, they would assume they were looking at some sort of tech unicorn that had figured out everything. However, the context is the biggest problem here, because a large portion of the institutional investors, you know, the ones with the actual capital to do a deal at this scale, they operate under something called vice clauses, which are restrictions embedded in their agreements with their own backers that prevent them from putting money into certain categories. Because often, I mean, these firms don't only use their own money, they have liquidity providers or people who invest money into them, and they operate as a hedge fund, and then they deploy other people's money with the end goal of, you know, beating the S&P 500 in an annual return. And a lot of people just don't want their funds to go into, you know, investing in these vice businesses, which considers adult content, tobacco, gambling, and weapons. So regardless of the numbers.
Oh, okay. Well, weapons are awesome though. What are we talking about? What are we talking, you know, okay, libtards? You had me until we went to weapons. I'm like, really? Okay, gambling, yeah. Porn, yeah. Tobacco, yeah, sure. All of that's, you know, drugs, alcohol, sure. Weapons? The fuck? What kind of libtard shit is that? What kind of fucking liberal nonsense is this shit? Oh, fucking America. We love guns. Fucking libtards ruin everything. Damn it.
A lot of the most obvious buyers are essentially blocked from even writing the check. Then you have the operational risks, which are, you know, Visa and MasterCard. They've already shown that they could, you know, threaten to cut off payment processing for adult platforms. And this is exactly what pushed OF towards its failed 2021 ban. And since the platform is almost entirely reliant on subscription revenue, it has to go through payment processors that take somewhere between 5 to 10% in fees on top of the 2 to 3% fees from the most regular, Visa and Master, which is far above the usual 2 to 3% that most regular businesses are charged from payment processors. So obviously that is a tax on their margins, and now they're dependent to payment processors. And not only that, but there's also a regulatory pressure. So the UK communications regulator, they hit with a 1.4 million pound fine in early 2025 for a weak age verification practice, which, might not be the biggest deal for them financially, but it's a pretty clear sign of where this enforcement is going. And then you have that exit problem, because even if someone bought it, how do they eventually sell it? Like, taking it public through a stock market listing, that's essentially impossible under the current conditions. And there's also no obvious second buyer standing by, and the insane financials don't resolve the fact that this is an asset most people in finance don't really want to be publicly associated with. And I mean, if I was to guess, that might be one of the reasons why they tried to stop allowing adult content on their platform back in 2021, plus the whole payment processors problem. So the asking price of the platform started at about $8 billion, and no one was interested, despite their insanely high valuation. But the firm that eventually emerged as, I guess, the most serious buyer was Architect Capital, a San Francisco-based investment fund that got its start in 2020, providing credit to Latin American startups. And they had more recently become known for its tendency towards complicated situations, because its founder, James Sagan, was one of the larger investors in Juul, a, vaping and nicotine product that you guys are probably familiar with at this point. And honestly, that's just a whole nother video, because Juul completely took over the world like right before the pandemic, and it definitely did extremely well during the pandemic. And then it seems like it kind of got like banned, at least most of their flavors got banned. And then suddenly you had like Geek Bars and all these other like off-brand versions of Juul, which arguably are worse, that kind of took over everything. But yeah, long story, but essentially Juul had its products pulled by the shelves by the FDA, and they later settled more than $1 billion in lawsuits over allegations that it was being marketed towards teenagers. So I mean, it's safe to say that Architect's brand has some tolerance for risky investments. And the pitch Sagan made to the potential backers had two core ideas. First, diversify the platform, push it towards mainstream creator niches, and try to make it competitive with something like Patreon, rather than positioning it as purely an adult content site. Obviously, OF is primarily an adult content platform, and the majority of the traffic and subscriptions and the money all comes from that. And without that core, it would just be a minor player when it comes to competing in the space with YouTube, Patreon, and Spotify. And now that Spotify also added long form content and subscription models. But I feel like this might even be smaller than Rumble if they tried to play in the non-adult space. Also, fun fact, since I'm mentioning Spotify, I was kind of forced to make a Spotify because some dude kept stealing my content and re-uploading it to Spotify. So if you want to enjoy my content on Spotify, you can do that as well. I'll leave a link down below so you guys know that it's actually me and not the dude impersonating me. So if you want to leave a review there, that would also help me not get impersonated. But continuing the video, over the years, OF has genuinely been trying to build a safe for work community on the platform, including chefs, athletes, musicians, comedians, and fitness coaches. And they also launched their own safe for work streaming service called OF TV back in 2021. And they've actively been trying to pursue other partnerships since. But I don't really think any of it really took off, though that is, again, still such a tiny portion of what actually is. Then you have, the real competitors here, YouTube, Spotify, and Patreon. They don't allow any 18+ content. And I don't see a world where OF is actually able to compete with any of these platforms in the safer work space because, the stigma that comes with the name. It's just like, I don't know. I just can't see most creators being very inclined to be like, hey guys, follow my unless they're paid like a massive bag. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But that problem will be something the new owner will have to inherit. And another step that they might need to do is acquire a banking license, because even if they acquire OF, what happens if the payment processors shut them off? That would be really bad. So a potential solution for that would be if the platform could become its own financial institution. I mean, in theory, it could, That would definitely be a massive uphill battle for them though. But that would at least help them reduce the 5 to 10% fee burden. Currently, the valuation on the table is $3.5 billion, with Architect taking 60% of the equity in the deal. So in just a few years, this has essentially lost $4.5 billion in valuation because no one wants to buy it. And the Wall Street Journal had originally reported a total deal value, including debt, at $5.5 billion, compared to an earlier $8 billion valuation just 1 year before, with slower growth and tougher sale process dragging the number down. And this number was apparently dragged down due to slower growth and just a tough sales process. But Sagan's $500 million fund wasn't nearly large enough to cover a deal of this size on its own. So he spent months going door to door trying to assemble the capital. And the family offices turned out to be the most receptive audience, largely because they don't really face the same restrictions that prevent more of the, mainstream funds from joining. And the deal was supposed to close by the end of March of this year. But then Leonid passed away and everything just got way more complicated. Obviously, I don't want to sound disrespectful here, but terrible time. Just when everything seemed to align, he passed away. And this happened on March 20th, 2026 in Florida. And the platform made an announcement with a brief statement saying that he had passed away peacefully.
W God, W God, W.
After a long battle with cancer, but his family asked for privacy and no details were shared. But what came out in the following days were how few people actually knew about how serious his condition was. And sources told the media that Leonid himself had driven the urgency behind the sale because of his health. Because the guy was apparently trying to get a deal closed specifically because he was concerned about leaving his family in a complicated situation without clear ownership. And as a part of that, in 2024, he transferred his stake of the company into a private trust, with his family being the expected beneficiaries. So obviously, if the deal with Architect Capital was already messy.
Dude, imagine your last name is Chudnovsky. Dude. If you have a son, it's over for him. It's over. If he had a son, and you know how Jews like to hyphenate their last name, and you allow your son's last name to be Chudnovsky, that has to be a form of child abuse.
It just got so much worse because the firm was still in the process of raising the equity it needed when Leonid passed. So it seems like the money simply just wasn't fully there. And suddenly now, investors who've been on the fence were dealing with a whole new layer of issues. Now you have estate laws, a different person now effectively in control of the asset, and deal terms that would now have to be renegotiated with a trust rather than the original seller. So the timeline that was already extended was pushed back once again. And as of this video, the deal remains open, and the future of right now is genuine uncertain, which is why it seems like the empire is collapsing. And the company has a current CEO. His name is Kelly Blair, who has been running the day-to-day operations, but what's clear is there's a lot of money at stake, a lot of different interests, and a company that, despite everything working against it, keeps printing cash at a rate that makes it very hard to ignore. So, I mean, it's safe to say whatever happens next will probably not be any more bizarre than the story of this company. I mean, the company's story is how a $10,000 loan from a dad with way too much patience suddenly turned into a $7 billion a year empire ran by some secret Ukrainian billionaire no one has ever heard of. I mean, come on, this is such a crazy story. And I feel like this is just a situation that no one's been talking about, because every time I hear OF in the news, it's about one of their stars making like $1 bazillion a year. So I just wanted to come here and talk about it for a bit. So hey, if you're new here, my name's Atozi, or crazy. A to Z, and we talk about the laughably stupid stuff and the bizarre things that happen here on the internet. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoy.
That's a wild story. What are the hoes gonna do? What are all the OF hoes gonna do? They're kind of cooked, huh? What are they gonna do? Like, what if OF just like deletes itself from the internet? There is, okay, as good as that would be, there is an unintended consequence, because would it be hypothetically easier for the hoes to hide their history if OF doesn't exist anymore? You know? Then there's no evidence. And I guess you could delete it anyway. it's safe to say if you put something on the internet like that, it's there forever. Somebody's out got your shit forever. Downloaded on a hard drive, being shared. I guess at that point, if OF goes under, then they won't have the legal team to go after like leaked content. So maybe these hoes would be extra screwed. They won't be able to get their shit off the internet, and then it's no longer monetized. And so all they could do is cry as like their content gets spread throughout the internet. There's no legal parameters to take that down anymore. And so that's like their permanent scarlet letter, and it's not going anywhere, you know? So OF has peaked, in your opinion? Yeah, it's all downhill from here. Imagine you own a company that manages adult content. You have a son. The worst fate for your son, not to mention his last name is ckableChudWithF. Yeah, it's kind of cooked. Well, to be fair though, I mean, don't feel too bad for him. He's a fucking billionaire. You know, I mean, like, come on now. I mean, if you're spawning into the world and you're doing your character creator, and it's like, you know, you inherit a fortune worth like $2 billion, but your last name is ckableChudWithF. You might say, okay, I can deal with that. You know, I can deal with the ckableChudWithF last name. Yeah, I can always change my name. We're always changing our names anyway. It doesn't even matter. I could, you know, just one trip to the court, you know, and then nobody will know you were a ckableChudWithF. You were a chud. You know? There are 4 kids. Okay, so you have to split it 4 ways. You're still super rich. You'd be a proud chud. I think I could live with that. I think I could live being a chud, but inheriting like, you know, $500 million. I think, which button do I press? Are we kidding ourselves right now? They can go work at a drive-thru. They don't have to work. Oh, the hose? Yeah, the hose can work at a drive-thru. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is we got to clock the hose, you know? You got to shame them. You got to remember who did this shit. So you don't have some guy, he thinks he's marrying a trad calf, but he's really getting some kind of reformed prostitute, you know? That's like you think you're that's like you think you're buying a Lamborghini, but you look under the hood and it's like a Honda Civic. Bad analogy, you know, car people, you come up with a better analogy, but you get what I'm saying. You think you're buying one thing, but you're getting something else. You know? AI search, you can find anything. Which AI search? Disgusting. Channel 5 made a gooning documentary, and those bikini baristas, that's the future. Honestly, man, I don't even know, man. It's pretty fucking cooked. Back to the strip clubs. Yeah, plenty of websites are just of leaks. Where? Which websites? Which disgusting websites are they? So I know which ones to avoid. Which ones? There's so many. Yeah, they're 4 kids. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got to submit an ID. Most of them have real ID with the facial recognition built in. Damn. Now the government knows you're gooning. Will get his money and leave simply. You already am. A proud chud. It is what it is. What do you think of the debt? The debt is going to keep rising while OF evaluation declines. How? It's kind of crazy they managed to rack up that much debt. I mean, servers aren't cheap. All that content, all that high resolution 4K content of the most debaucherous things you can possibly imagine. Very expensive. Very expensive to maintain. A lot of terabytes. A lot of data. Well, I mean, what do they do? Like, maybe they can sell user data? Imagine. I don't know. Yeah, it's not looking great. You know? Not looking great for them. We need a HoFax website. Yeah, check your bitch on HoFax. A Fiero kit car. Yeah, imagine. Instead of Carfax that shows car's history and damage record, it's HoFax that shows a woman's body count and internet history. Yeah, digital footprint and all that. And all that shit. When your owner is raking in $2 million a day, the debt is going to increase. Owner knew writing was on the wall early. I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, look, if your company's doing well, you're gonna do well. If you're the CEO and you have, you know, a large stake in the company. But I don't know. I don't know, like, what even is the future of this? You know, what is the future of OF? I don't think they can reinvent themselves, because that's how they took off, was through pornography. So it would be like, what would make them any better than like Patreon at that point, or like Buy Me a Coffee, or any of these other competitors, Rumble? The whole point was that it's pornography, so it's kind of cooked. And if they rebrand, then they lose, okay, maybe they can shed the stigma of OnlyFans, but then they lose the brand recognition. Everybody knows about OnlyFans. I don't know how they stay solvent. I don't know how they stay solvent. What do you know? Who is this fool who really works hard to buy those adult content in the end? He must be miserable. Bro, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. A lot of closeted gooners. I had a coworker, bro. And you know, he was like a tall guy, like 6'4", pretty good looking guy. Had a fiance. She was Jewish. Unrelated. But, you know, I remember I was talking to my other coworker that said, like, you know, he would like leave his phone like on his desk, often unlocked. He'll just be watching, like, you know, not like porn, but like, you know, you scroll through TikTok and shit, and you'll see like booty videos, like, you know, thirst trap stuff. But then, like, you know, we'll get like OnlyFans notifications on his phone, and she was like, look, like, and it's just like there on his desk. It's like, bro was a gooner. Bro was fucking gooning. You know, it's a problem, dude. It's a fucking problem. Like, yeah, like, paying for porn is like, that has to be like the point where you're just like, okay, I really seriously have a problem. If you're paying for shit, how do you not have that moment of realization, like, what have I turned into? What have I become? I've become a monster. The very thing I swore to destroy. I am a gooner. I can't look at myself. You know, like, how? I don't know, man. It's a problem, you know? It's a problem. It's a real addiction people have. It's tragic. But, there are a lot of problems. A lot of problems, man. A lot of broken people. I have a prediction. OF goes under. I can see it go under. No new girls are popping either. Same 304s. No new blood. Well, I remember. Okay, here, I'll put the little conspiracy hat on for a second. Remember Sophie Rain? This bitch in the thumbnail? I remember like a couple years ago it broke. Like, that she was supposedly making like tens of millions of dollars on OnlyFans. Like, per year. And, you know, I do wonder how real that is. Fucking friends are DMing me on Discord to play Marathon. And I just lost my fucking train of thought. Anyway, I question if that was legitimate. If she was really making that much money. That just seems like a ridiculous amount of money. Like, I feel like that was a manufactured story to get hoes to be like, damn, she's making 15 plus mil a year. Shit, and she's not even that hot, and she's got weird proportions. Damn, I can make more than that. I feel like that was an I feel like the whole thing was AstroTurf. And she did have, like, people were criticized because she is like a weird, she had like a weird look. And I do think, here I'll put on another schizo conspiracy theory hat. I think that is maybe, I think that's a little AstroTurf too. These weird body proportions, you know, what are the odds? I'll go out on a limb here and say, like, what are the odds that Ravinsky he's having Shabbat dinner with, you know, some big shot plastic surgeon, and they're talking about how all these women are chasing these trends and these body standards that are like weird and unnatural. So like, well, what if they have the biggest content creator on the platform has these weird proportions, and we get more women to pay into plastic surgery, and I'll help you out, you know, like that kind of thing. Because plastic surgery that's another industry that's just exploded and continues to explode. You know, everybody's getting a nip tuck. You know, these women with their you know, their butt implants and their lip, all the hoes are getting lip filler now. And so like, if you try to create this beauty standard and you just find these women with weird proportions that are not normal, and then you get women to chase the trend, you create this manufactured consensus, this manufactured standard to get women to go out and get more plastic surgery, then you're feeding into another industry that you also happen to be invested in, helping out your cousin that owns a rhinoplasty clinic in Silicon Valley or in Los Angeles or something, you know? I don't rule that out. Anyway. He will remain miserable in my eyes, even if he has money, because he's a stupid person. I have a friend who got exposed for buying OF. Damn, you gotta bully him. Fellow low-key, if you keep going, your competition will eat itself out. Well, thanks. Here's the hoping, is that the streamer landscape implodes and I'm the only one left standing. I'm the only one left standing, that everyone else fails so I could succeed. It's not enough that I succeed, I need everyone else to fail. But how funny would that be? You know? That would be kind of keck. That's insane. Clip that. Clip what? What are we clipping? Larry Wheels dropped 10K on a cam girl. He's also like married to a hoe and he gets like repeatedly embarrassed. Puck type shit, you know? You can get married or find a girlfriend instead of wasting your time buying adult content. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there, Razor. Part of the problem is that these guys can't. They can't find a girlfriend. They can't find a wife. Because female hypergamy is making it impossible to find a wife that like isn't a total bitch, isn't a total whore. You know, like that's part of the problem. It's a positive feedback loop. And it's like, you know, you can have contempt for these guys, but you also need a bit of sympathy too. And it's like, you know, got biological needs, you know? So as pathetic as it is, it's like, and it is pathetic, you understand why. And it's like, the bigger, like, in a sense, they are still victims. And the bigger culprit are these whores and these pornographers that are doing this. So they're all guilty to a certain degree, but it's not dished out evenly. He's too lazy. Who's too lazy? Me? To clip that? Yeah, I am too. What are we even talking about? What are we talking about? Clip what? I'm fucking lost. What if Alyssa Liu did OF? LOL. Damn, okay, what, you just self-reporting on yourself? What was that? Completely unprompted? Completely unprompted? Mr. Forage, just, what if Alyssa Liu did OnlyFans? That would be crazy, right? LOL. Bro just revealed himself. Bro just bro just broadcasted his gooning fantasies to chat like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. You just exposed yourself under zero pressure. Is it worth selling your soul though? What are we talking about? I missed the context on that. Sophie Rain doesn't make LeBron money. It's been exposed that she just keeps repeating the lie. I think it was a lie, but I didn't look too deeply into it. I'm not out here pocket watching or whatever. It's like it's another form of engagement farming, you know? No, it's not, but oh well, people make bad decisions all the time. Yes, after all that, they want to get their dream man and married. They don't even deserve anything like that. They should be as miserable as they are. Yeah, and they will be. And they are. You know, single career women in their 40s are the most depressed and the most medicated demographic in America. Literally. They are fucking chopped. Oh my goodness, so OF guy is an Epstein type of guy? Oh, you might be right. Goes hand in hand. It does. Rip Korea? What happened to Korea? Oh, well, I mean, if we're talking about hypergamy, yeah, Korea's cooked. Women thought they could be Barbie in the 1950s, so it's not a new idea, TBH. No, it's not. It's just taken to its conclusion. This is the final form of feminism. I remember the Andrew Tate debate, and we had over 100 people in here. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I just went live. I covered a couple different things, and like literally, that was like the most popular stream. It just blew up for some reason on YouTube. Those two streams, the Andrew Tate debate and the other one, Alex Jones and Nick. Got a ton of viewers for that. Because it's like you're not gonna find that on YouTube, you know, and people are looking for that stuff, but they're not going over the Rumble, you know. I think it's better to eliminate privacy in these applications. There should be identity verification so everyone knows how pathetic you are to do such things. Yeah, at the same time though, I don't want Mossad to have access to all that info, you know? Yeah, we do need more public shaming in some form. Maybe that's what it would be, what it would take. Hey, you want a goon? You're gonna have to give Big Yahoo your credentials. Big Yahoo is gonna know exactly who you are. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if we want to give them more blackmail material. You feel me? Unless you're talking about making it all public, but that's just like just solve the problem rather than the symptom and just make it illegal. You know? You don't need to go through all those extra steps just to address the symptom when you can address the root problem, which is the fact these sites exist. Just delete them off the face of the planet. I still would never pay. Yes, exposed. Yeah, you would never pay. You would just go one of those disgusting sites that has all the leaks on them mentioned earlier, right? You would just go to one of those disgusting leak sites with all of the leaked OnlyFans content, you know, that you would never go to. Exposed. I also think OF is a big money laundering operation. I mean, they're giving money to AIPAC and all that, and all these other Israeli ops, literally taking goon money and giving it to their fellow shlomos, you know? She's a cutie though. I hope she stays wholesome. I mean, she's not really wholesome though. Like, she's got a fucking disgusting like mouth piercing. What the fuck is that? What actually is the fuck up with that? What are we talking about? That is like, I thought those were braces at first, you know, and then I look closer, I'm like, no, that's a mouth. Like, there's a piercing in her mouth that hangs over her teeth. That is foul. That is like advanced mental illness signaling. I've never seen that before. I didn't know what to make of that at first. I'm like, that's like, is she like trying to set a trend and just like, oh shit? I don't know, man. So no, she's not wholesome, Chungus. Don't get it twisted. Korea equals plastic surgery capital. True. You can't trust them. You know, you think you're getting like a Korean K-pop doll and your kid is going to come out looking fucking yellow and with a blocky head and, you know, slanted eyes and all that. No eyelid folds. And you'd be like, what the fuck is this, bitch? So, yeah, it's cooked over there. Everybody's getting plastic surgery over there. I went full plastic surgery. They're getting a plastic surgery every day. Imagine you're a drug dealer. You get your girl to make OF. Sure, she will get some subs, but you use Cash App and other payment mechanisms to buy OF subs so the girl gets big and pays out. Thus, you can use money to launder legally now. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It's kind of the same thing with like casinos. They're laundering money too. You know, when you have these sort of illicit operations, it comes with the territory, you know. Or you go to Dubai where there is no income tax. Yeah, go to Dubai and where a lot of these OnlyFans thoughts are going to have some rich oiler shit on their chest, you know? Degenerates over there in Dubai. It's gross. It is gross. Yeah, they glue gems to their teeth now too. What the fuck are we doing? They glue okay. You know, okay. Women not beating the retarded allegations. You have the mellow feature, so you won't be affected by OF, and we won't buy that type of content, so you're safe. The mellow feature? What is that? What is that? What? What? I don't even know what is the mellow feature? The blacks have been doing that for years. Oh yeah, well the what did they call it? Not vajazzling. That's like, you know, putting the gemstones on their vag and all that. I don't, what are we even talking about anymore, dude? What are we discussing? We are safe here, yeah. Too bad Dubai is finito. Yeah. Supreme Leader, if you can hear us, please. You could do the funniest thing right now. It's popular with Asian ladies to have those gem teeth recently. The whole Asian discussion, man. People are going like, so right now the discussion is like, which formula is better? You know, white dad, Asian mom, or Asian dad, white mom? And the truth is, the combo doesn't matter in and of itself. The genes of your parents matter. But the trend is simply and you can see it that more often than not, you get a lot of kind of like loser white guys that like marry like a chopped Asian hoe. And they're like both kind of like blind to each other's unattractiveness. I've seen it firsthand. Like I've had like friends like kind of like lust after like some really mid Asian women. I'm like, dude, what are we talking about here? Her? She looks like a thumb. I'm just like, well, and it's not just like white guys, it's like black guys and Hispanics too. Like, it's not just white guys doing this. So there is like that kind of phenomenon. And, you know, because like, you know, Asian guys tend to be more like androgynous. They tend to be more, you know, less masculine, maybe smaller in stature. They tend to get like frame mogged by Westerners. Then like for an Asian guy to bag a white woman, you kind of have to be a Chad, you know, or more Chadly. Would have to have like more elite genetics among his fellow Asian peers. But at the end of the day, it's like, if your parents are both L's, you're going to be an L. If your parents are both W's, you're going to be a W. So whether which one is which doesn't really matter, you know? So, but yeah, it is probably true that white dad, Asian mom, the trend is, and it's not because he's white and she's Asian, but like that in and of itself is not what's producing like L Asians, you know? So, and I'm not just saying that because my dad's white and my mom's Asian. But my parents are both elite human capital. So it is what it is. Anyway, McGrill, you're talking about grills. Mello, when did the culture shift to being thick equals attractive / good looking? I mean, you could say the sort of black influence, I think, played a big part in it. Same thing with like rap music being popular. I don't even like, because like, look, when it comes to like thick women, it's like a lot of it is just like, some of it is like fat women, but on the other hand, it's like also women that are in really good shape, you know? Because like, how are we defining thick? You know, are we talking about some like fat bitch? You know, or are we talking about like a bitch that does squats, you know, and eats right, hits the gym, and is thick in all the right places because she works out and eats right, you know? So I guess we have to sort of define our terms first. But yeah, I think, and I guess a similar thing happened to men, because like what is like sort of the male standard? It's like, you know, aesthetics, and you can go back to like Z's and the bodybuilder forums where now like men need to be jacked but also shredded. You got to have that like that Dorito taper, you know, really broad shoulders, abs, biceps, pecs, and a very thin waist, and that's like peak male physique. So somewhere along the lines, people just worked out more, you know. Maybe that occurred around the 80s, I think, with bodybuilding really taking off. So there's that side of the things. And then like, I don't know, like I think like sort of maybe the influence of like black culture in pop culture. So like there's sort of like two ends of that like thick spectrum. A fat bitch is still fat, you know, but I think like fit women that do a ton of squats and all that working out shit, I think that's become more popular too. So, and yeah, I think you could probably kind of clock that around the 80s, maybe. That's probably when it really started kicking off for the fitness industry, at least. So, Mellow feature is adult good content, so we are safe from OF. Okay, well, I don't know about making adult content here. What are we talking about? Mello can talk about this firsthand. If she's over 10, she's too big. BMI, use BMI, because what if she's like 6 feet tall, you know? What if you have like a Amazonian woman? Your kids will be tall. You don't want her to be 110 then. It's not about skin problems. They have that culture of achieving the perfect and harmonious appearance. They also look down on those who are not perfect in appearance. I've heard this kind of thing about Koreans. Yeah, I mean, Koreans, Chinese, it's sort of like success and by any means necessary, even if it's not authentic. You know, I guess they're kind of like low-key, the OG looks maxers in that regard. Hard maxing over there. But it often creates this uncanny appearance. Like you see it in the eyes of a lot of these like Korean women that have had a lot of work done. It just looks weird. They kind of look like dolls. I don't know if I don't know. But yeah. I think some of them also wear contacts, and that's not helping either. It's like, you are Asian as shit. You don't have like blue eyes. Let's be real. Let's be real for a second. It just looks kind of uncanny, you know? Asian equals exotic dog. Yeah, and it's like, it's just like that does not make up for like a lack of aesthetics, you know? If you're chopped, you're fucking chopped. Don't care if she's exotic. Like, get your head on straight, man. You feel me? Fucking unreal. I think it depends on the state. I see a lot of stick figure Ariana Grande girls. Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, I guess we're talking about like social media and pop culture. SF is the white man, Asian woman capital of the world. I'd say Thailand, but they are so more economical reasons. Yeah, you just see a lot of chopped. It's crazy, man. I hate it because like it's just wrong, you know. It's like disordered. It's like you want people to be looks matched, you know. And so when I see some Chad with like some chopped, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it, King. Don't do it. Your kids. Think of your blood. I'm just like, this is just disordered. It's like, you know, what are you doing? Don't do it. It's not worth it just because she's nice to you, you know? A lot of them aren't even nice. A lot of them are bitches. It's at the point where I've resigned myself, like, okay, you know, maybe fuck it, I'll just marry a hoe, but she's hot, she's got good genes, and I'll just hate her and not talk to her, and maybe she'll die in some mysterious car crash after she's produced me like 5 kids or whatever. Oh no. And I just won't really love my wife that much, whatever. Yeah, my wife's a hoe, whatever. Whatever, yeah, my wife did OnlyFans or whatever, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm just not gonna give a fuck about my wife at all. Maybe that's the solution. Just your wife is going, whatever, I don't care. Whatever, I'm not really committed to her anyway. Maybe that's just kind of the only solution, you know? Maybe that's what you got. You just gotta care less about your wife than she cares about you. Natalie Portman build, please. Someone remembers episode 2. I don't know, Irvine and that area have a lot of Asian female, white male couples. Yeah, I mean, that's close enough to the area, too. That's why you're American and smart, W America. Wait, I don't want to look like her. No, I'm gonna wake up and look like her. It's crazy. Yeah, thick is very subjective. Yeah. No, that's fit. Gym girl is fit girl. Thick is like OF stripper model types. I don't know. I've seen it used interchangeably. But yeah, some of it is cope too. Some of it is like women sabotaging each other because they want more fat bitches, so there's less competition. That's also true. So they'll like defend fat bitches when they themselves are not fat because they want more fat bitches because that's less competition for them. Women are evil, man. Women are fucking evil. They will give the worst advice to their friends so that they like chop themselves, you know? Women should not listen to other women, but they do. Way too much. It's crazy. Bodybuilding is on a decline. More so guys want to be lean. Being 235 pounds and carrying all that weight and muscle is not feasible long term. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you want to be like strong, very strong, but very, very, very lean. And you want it's about like aesthetics. That's really what Z's pioneered, you know? It's all about the aesthetics. Being just as big and having like the most impressive muscle groups is not really the chief concern anymore. Yeah, a lot of Asian women want to have the facial features of Russian women. True. Yeah, Russian women could make a case that they're the most attractive. But they have a lot of... What even is Russian anymore, you know? I guess when we think Russian, we think blue eyes, blonde hair. But they have a lot of mixtures going on there too. So... That was one of Uncle H's big criticisms of Russia. Being somewhat of a mongrel race. But I think when we think Russian, I think we all know what we're thinking of, you know? That kind of, you know, we think, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyed, you know, that kind of thing. I think being that big goes against evolution in a big way. I mean, you're in a sense obese, you know? When you're that big, your body is not, your frame, your genetics, your heart in particular, not really built to sustain that kind of weight. You are literally obese if you're that big. And that's on top of the damage roids do to your organs, so. Yeah. The best builds are like lean athletic builds. And if you can get as strong as you can, as big as you can, naturally, that is like where you want to be. You want to be like strong, but very lean, very athletic. It's about endurance. You got to be able to run, you know? So. Your great-grandfather dishonored my bloodline by marrying a Filipino. Don't be ashamed of who you are. There is also a theory that two really hot people don't make attractive kids sometimes. You need the women to be hotter than the guy. The genes have to mix well more than just being hot. Yeah, there's truth to that too. I mean, you do have like phenotypes, right? If you take like a Chad phenotype and then you take like a pretty boy androgynous phenotype and you mix them together, that might not work well. But I think more often than not, two attractive people are going to produce attractive children. Yeah. You must be, and there's also epigenetics and the expression of your genetics too, and that's a whole nother discussion. You must be married to be a servant. Why would he marry a girl like her if you don't want to live with her? What? I'm not sure I understand. Women are pretty vicious. The Loomer Candace fight is crazy. Yeah, I got a glimpse of that. It's like two of the biggest fucking retards off the planet just going at it. It's like, get the popcorn out, dude. My problem with weight gain is not being overweight itself, but the lies told to avoid hurting their feelings. Instead of saying you are fat, you should lose weight. My guess what? After all that obesity, one of two things will happen. Either he will die from a heart attack or he'll be sick for the rest of his life. That's why, man, most people can't handle the truth. When you tell the truth, I know this sounds like self-aggrandizing, but it's true. There are really few real N-words that are going to stand on business and tell the truth no matter what. Telling the truth often gets you ostracized. It is what it is. But, you know, we just need to be honest. Sometimes the truth isn't popular, and that's okay. We have an obligation to the truth, not to people's feelings. Because if we had an obligation to people's feelings, then we want everybody to feel great about themselves, even if they're disgusting, horrendous, repulsive pieces of shit that we all actually hate. You know? And that's no good for anybody. So, is what it is. The ballerina type Russian woman is what I'm referring to. Yeah, we clocked that. Soccer player, MMA fighter, tennis player, builder are the best to achieve. Even swimmers. You know, really strong shoulders, upper body, you know, but very, very lean. The track and field ladies have the best builds. They're usually lacking in the chest. Yeah, really short distance runners, bro. If you know what I'm talking about. I think we've all gotten the recommendations on YouTube. Women's sprints. I think we all know what I'm talking about. You know? Yeah, that's, yeah. Feelings don't matter if the person is killing themselves. Yeah, true. So, truth matters most. Anyway, can we get some emotion? Not tonight. Yeah, Louise isn't here. I'm peacing out, boys. Thanks for hanging out. Damn, it's late. Holy shit. It is late as hell. Late ass stream today. Hope you guys all go to bed. Get some rest. Yeah. I'm getting out of here. I'm kind of hungry. Maybe I'll go eat some pasta. They got this really good Italian place. Got some pasta from. So I'm gonna hang out. Or I'm not gonna hang out. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah, time for pie. Maybe a little bit of pie. Maybe I'm gonna be fat maxing real quick. After railing against fat people, I'm gonna be sitting there eating my pie and ice cream. These fatties, they're disgusting. They disgust me. But you know, that's why we work out, so we can enjoy food. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all. I'll go. If Smelly makes another meme, I'll go live tomorrow. So he has 100% success rate. So I'll catch you guys all later. Peace out. Take it easy. God bless.